This creature has the power to heal itself and is immortal even when he is shot through the heart. The wound can be healed with just a swipe of his hand. The old man has a bald head after being touched by him the next day. This humanoid sea monster captured by the people of the Amazon River Basin was worshipped as a god for many generations, and the reason he appeared here was because during World War II America specifically captured him to complete defeat the Soviet Union. They wanted to research the mystical power of the sea monster to defeat the enemy. Eliza, who was working as a cleaner, was attracted to this mysterious creature, but at this time the person was nowhere to be found. They both accused the person in charge of Richard and immediately kicked the other out. Elisa didn't pay much attention because there are too many strange things in this secret American military base. Elisa was mute and there was no complicated relationships between them, besides going to work every day. Her free time is to enjoy the comfort of the bathtub. Today, she picked up eggs and brought them to the company, but before she could start eating, Gene wiped people out of the lab, covered in blood. He was taken to the emergency room and Elisa and her friend Zelda took care of cleaning up. This was the second time she came here. Elisa picked up the bucket and intended to wash the blood on the ground. As a result, 2 fingers were discovered. Zelda was startled and immediately ran out to call someone, but Elisa's remained calm and stuffed her broken finger into her pocket. The sea monster heard the movement and slowly swam towards the glass. The wound on her body was clearly caused by the Czech clan, so this was the first time the two of them met each other. Right after that, Da and the person in charge went to L and immediately copied the broken finger to thank the two for finding his finger. Zland even met them in person at this time. The broken finger was sewn back onto his hand. Eliza even gave him back the wedding ring because of this. The two people were given the task of cleaning the laboratory. Ellie was born mute and had very few friends. The appearance of the mermaid caught her attention and kept coming to the laboratory, only to see her take out a cooked egg and gently tap on the eggshell with a sharp knock, immediately attracting the underwater sea monster. Only saw him, she slowly poked her head up, then slowly swam to the edge of the lake and slowly stood up. Due to being tortured by humans, she still did not let her guard down before and had never eaten an egg. Eliza carefully put the egg down and did a few movement. The mermaid saw this immediately, picked up the egg and returned to the swimming pool. From then on, the relationships between humans and fish became closer and closer. Eliza also searched for eggs and brought them to the mermaid every day when she finished cleaning. We'll take out the prepared eggs, then turn on the music and wait for the mermaid to appear. 2 lonely souls have become friends like that. Eliza brings delicious eggs to it every day. The two people are getting closer and closer. Even more important, Eliza even danced for him to see a person and a fish who didn't speak, but they could communicate silently, and this scene was also seen by the doctor, which proved that the mermaid was not a beast, not a brain, but a type of extremely intelligent creature. This discovery shocked him, however. The doctor did not mention this to anyone the next day when Eliza returned to see the mermaid chained and clearly covered in blood. They had just tortured him. Eliza wanted to remove the chains but had no tools. As soon as the laboratory door was opened again, she immediately hid behind the device. Lon came in from the outside, picked up the electroscope and repeatedly electrocuted him. The mermaid was clearly taking revenge for the mermaid biting off his finger. The military commander also happened to come to check on both the commander and the Chitluan, only cared about the progress of the experiment and didn't care about humans at all. The fish is vomiting blood on the ground. Only Dr. Robert feels pity for this perfect species. But to speed up the process, CH Luan has proposed human surgery. The commander is ready to agree as long as there is a result, yes, but the doctor did not want to kill this magical creature. He strongly opposed this proposal, but it aroused the commander anger. He counted how many stars there were on my uniforms. There were 5 stars. This shows that I can do whatever I want. I can listen to your reasons, but the one who makes the final decision is still I. See the commander determination she immediately follows, but for the movie is the doctor could not convince the commander clearly. They were determined to perform mermaid surgery. While distraught, Eliza immediately went home and found the homeowner, who was a mute. The homeowner's was also one of her few friend, wanted the landlord to go save the mermaid with him. But how could the landlord take the risk because of a mermaid he didn't know? He turned around and went to the bar to confess to boy he liked, but he was rejected by the other person because heartbroken. He impulsively went home and agreed to Eliza's request. Eliza took advantage of her position to quietly change the host camera angle, pretended to be a garbage collector, and went to the back door of the base. Eliza rushed into the laboratory to open the chain and take the mermaid away, but she didn't even bring any tools. Luckily Dr. Sam discovered that she was waiting here and gave the key to the doctor, who also had the same intention. Let the mermaid go. He showed Eliza how to raise a mermaid, then he gave her a special salt. With his help, Eliza successfully stole the mermaid. Jlan on the other side happened to see the car return trash on the surveillance camera. He had a feeling that something was wrong, so he immediately called the door guard. When the guard checked the documents, he immediately discovered that it was fake. Fortunately, the doctor was already prepared and used a bomb to burn the electrical box. The doctor picked up the jar and walked over to take down the guard. Rhoda couldn't defeat Elisa, so immediately joined her. When Zlan and his men arrived, The mermaid had already boarded the car and left. Elisa was chopped into pieces. Open the door with a shower towel, then turn on all the faucets in the bathroom. The water level keeps rising under the feet of one person and one fish. Soon the water fills the entire bathroom. Elisa and the mermaid are happily reunited. In this way the homeowner locked at the leaking door and didn't know why. So he opened the door and all the water inside flowed out at the same time. Elisa and the mermaid were hugging each other tightly. This is a forbidden love of a different species, but Elisa also had a strange feeling when she tasted Flo for the first time. Love was like a fragile peony. She even wore red high heels that didn't suit her style. She was someone who had flowed. Zelda's immediately understood her surprise. Elisa's couldn't tell how humans and fish were combined, but she explained everything with gestures. They returned to their residence. The mermaid was barely alive from being out of the water for too long. Elisa immediately put him in the tub. The bath was filled with water. For too long, Elisa immediately put him in the tub. The bath was filled with water given by the doctor, but the mermaid seemed like he was about to die. Fortunately, after a period of soaking in the water, the mermaid came back to life. Since rescuing the mermaid Elisa, who had the intention of letting him go, the water in this tree will rise in October. This tree connects to the sea. This will be an opportunity to release the mermaid. When Elisa returned home, she silently marks it on the calendar. This is the two of them parted ways. The commander scolded him for losing the mermaid. At this time, he thought it was the Red Army Special Forces, so he started investigating the staff in the base. But Elisa and Zelda, one person swept the feces and the other cleaned the water. The little family easily passed the test, but before leaving, Elisa asked about Street L and his family with lawn gestures. Even if he was illiterate and didn't understand, he knew she was scolding him. Luckily, the translator Zelda was there. At the same time, the homeowner was looking after the mermaid who had fallen asleep on the chair. The mermaid quickly climbed out of the bathroom and went outside. Everything here was new to him, and the cat was sleeping in the living room. It was attractive. He was really hungry. When the homeowner heard the movement and came out to check, the cat had entered the mermaid's stomach. He was about to step forward to stop him. The mermaid panicked and ran away. Thwan took advantage of scratching and injuring the owner. When Elisa turned around the house, she only saw a mess on the ground. The homeowner didn't care about himself and immediately left Elisa to find the mermaid. Elisa leaned on her and hid her bloody hand along the way, following her to the deserted theater. Downstairs, it turned out that the mermaid, after escaping, watched a movie here. After returning home, he realized he had done something wrong, proactively apologized to the cat. The owner of the house also knew that he had accidentally injured himself, so he did not blame him, but the mermaid blamed himself for letting him put his hand on his head. Then his whole body lit up with blue light. Waiting until the next day, when the landlord changed the bandage on his arm, I discovered that my wound had disappeared and my head was gone. His original baldness grew back, but before he was released, the mermaid seemed to be in trouble, so all over his body started to peel off. He coughed up a lot of blood. After checking, he was helpless. Call TN immediately, doctor, for help, but the doctor is preparing to flee. He is a Soviet spy who killed the mermaid to stop the American military experiment. He betrayed everyone and chose to let the mermaid go. Agent decided to silence him. Fortunately, the street clan, who was always suspicious, followed him after the street clan finished dealing with the lean agent asked him about the mermaid whereabouts. Another spy result when he learns that the person doing that job is the cleaner. SH immediately employee information. He goes to Zelda house. She is still loyal and does not betray Elisa, but her husband is a coward. After knowing the whereabouts of the mermaid, Streetland immediately ran to Elisa house, but when he arrived, Elisa had also already taken the mermaid down to the canal. Streetland immediately went to make a note on the calendar. The two were saying their final goodbye on the canal bank, but SH Lon suddenly appeared and forth with Elisa in a painful way. Fortunately, the mermaid looked at the woman in front of him and saved him. He walked over, hugged her and kissed her passionately. The 3 scars on Elisa's neck were from when she was a child. In an instant, he turned into a fish gills, so the two of them headed towards the sea together.